Hello and welcome to another live chat from Crazy Women Country. I'm Paula, and today I have the amazing Cindy Emchy with me. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you this morning?
I'm fantastic, and it's so good to have you back on the show.
It's wonderful to see your face. I'm like, how are you? So great.
You're the best. You're the best. So, we chatted back in 2020, sometime in 2020, I can't remember what date it was. And I know you've had a lot of changes in life. So tell me, what have you been up to? What have you been doing?
Well, I think last time we talked, I was about to get married to my partner of 2 years. So we got married. It was very exciting. It was a backyard wedding. And we played some lovely country music at it, of course, as well as a lot of new wave and other wonderful stuff. And we had 15 of our closest people there, all masked up, all properly protocoled, and just got ourselves backyard married. We'll have a big party, in the next year or so when it's safer for larger gatherings. But that was one of the biggest things that happened. And then got the wonderful honor of being able to be a regular guest on Carolyn Mark's online Hootenanny. It was my friend Carolyn, who I believe you talked to in an interview where you had fun. She was doing this every Sunday online Hootenanny with 3 hours of her favorite great friends and other performers from all over the world online. So I got to do 10 or 15 of those, which was pretty rad. And then I just, recorded a record. In this spring of 2020 here, almost in summer, I rented a cabin up in the Gold Country in California. And so me and a couple of band members who were all vaccinated went up there and recorded an album in the mountains. So we're in the middle of mixing it and getting it produced right now.
All the fun stuff. So do we have a release date, or is that just going to be?
Right now, we're saying June of 2022, because there's a lot of delays in vinyl production. So we were trying to do it earlier. And it's just the logistics of actual production and making the physical units of vinyl are not as speedy as it used to be back before the pandemic. So we're taking our time and doing it right so that when we have the album to release, it's going to be amazing.
It's always amazing.
Listen to you.
And vinyl. It's amazing when you look at all these artists now, how vinyl is making this huge comeback. I mean, obviously, when I was younger, the first album I bought was on vinyl. So
mine too. Wait, what was your first record?
My first record was Belinda Carlisle's "Heaven Is a Place on Earth."
Nice. That's good. My first record was Nina's 99 Luftballons.
Oh, fantastic.
And I bought it in my little small town in Michigan, in a town a store that sold tractors, farm feed, and then had a little tiny cassettes and vinyl section. And I was all,
that is Don't you miss those days though of going into a record store and then scooting through everything to find what you're looking for? I mean, kids these days don't know what that's like.
It's frustrating, right? Because it's either a thrift store moment or it's a coastal cities moment. Because, that's not true. Actually, I'm going to take that back. A lot of independent record stores all over the U.S. have vinyl that you can go through. I just went to Record Store Day in June. It was the best thing ever at a little indie record store. And because of the pandemic, they were doing it a little different for you had to wait while they gathered your special Record Store Day releases, which meant that I had 2.5 hours because of where my spot had been in line to look through their stacks of vinyl that were just out on the floor. And I will tell you, I think I rifled through every record they had to be like, what do I want? What do I want? And it, like, I spent too much money. 20 records. It was so stupid, but it was wonderful at the same time.
It's amazing. I must admit, over here we've got some stores. They're kind of multi-stores. They kind of sell everything, but they have huge record collections now, and it's just like, wow, this really sort of takes you back to, you know, when I used to rummage through sort of Al Price and HMB and try and find that perfect album. But that's just awesome. I remember when I was younger, the first Reba albums, I couldn't get them in the UK. I had to write to Nashville, and it wasn't email. I had to write a proper letter to a record store in Nashville to say, these are the albums I wanted. Have you got them? And then they wrote me back. So, yeah.
Was it? I have to ask. Was it Grimey's that you wrote to?
Oh, it might be.
Because they're like one of the best, and like they were like a national institution. I met one of the owners, I don't know, at a South by Southwest barbecue a few years ago, and I was like, Grimey's, and like I totally like fanned out on him, like he was like some kind of country music star, because I'm like, oh, that amazing record store, it's so good, oh my god. So yeah, I'm a dork, but you know, everyone who knows me knows how much of a dork I am, so no hiding that.
You know, and also you can get it in the UK, but it was just so cool. And of course they wrote back, they told me everything they had, and then to make it cheaper for me, which was perfect, they took all the cases out, wrapped all the CDs, sent the CDs, and obviously the covers inside and everything.
Yeah.
And I bought a plastic case in the UK to make it cheaper on postage. And it was just like,
so nice. That's amazing.
It is. It's just fantastic. Fantastic. So the vinyl of your album, is it going to be something really funky? Because obviously I've seen pink ones and all sorts of random things going out on these things. You know.
It depends. It really depends on So I have a label now. Did I tell you that from last time? I don't remember. I signed I signed with Broken Clover Records out of San Francisco, who are just wonderful, and they like put out some albums by Mark Lanigan and lots of other. They do like a whole international like roster of music they really believe in. So I was super honored that they picked me to be one of their first country artists ever on the label. So I'm like, oh, you really like me. It was super. It was you know, very heartwarming. But so it's really they're being super generous with me about like what I want the vinyl packaging to be like, and if I want there to be colored vinyl or not. So right now we're still working out the art. So we're not to the stage yet where we're talking about colored vinyl, but given that the album was recorded in gold country, I could see an argument being made for gold vinyl. I'm just saying.
Yes. That would be awesome.
The idea is happening right now, right as we speak.
That's a great idea. I love that. That's a fantastic idea. Oh, and congratulations on being signed. You deserve it.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a really wonderful moment. My heart got so warm. I was just like, oh my God. Yeah.
So it's been an amazing few months. Obviously getting married, new album, being signed. I mean, come on. What more can you do?
I'm not mad at it. You know, there's a lot of like tours that haven't happened and shows that got sidelined and, you know, not being able to connect to people like in person. But I've been very, very blessed. And there's been a lot of really wonderful things that have happened in the past year. I mean, there's been a lot of loss. Yeah. And I have personally like lost people to Corona. But at the same time, like I'm just trying to like count the blessings and appreciate what I have and be grateful for it. Mm-hmm. Like I do gratitude meditations and stuff to try to stay centered about how you can stay in the present and just be really appreciative and a solid and functioning part of your community to help other people too. So just try to stay in the good stuff. And I've definitely benefited from a lot of it this year.
Awesome. Well, you deserve it. You've done fantastic. Oh. Are you still working with Give Me Country as well?
I am. Yeah, I still have a show. Mine airs every Thursday now at like 4 p.m. Pacific. So it gets like the commuter crowd. Okay. And the really cool thing I've been doing is I've actually been starting to interview people on my show. a little bit more. So when there's folks that I know who have like new records coming out or whatever, especially women that I feel like really kind of align with similar taste to mine and similar values in terms of wanting like progressive and intersectional and diverse country music to be out there in the world. I ask them to select, 10 or 15 songs for the playlist. And then as we do the show, like we play stuff that plays off of each other, and I like look at what they picked, and it's a great way to bring some tastes that aren't just mine into the show, but that are in line with what my values are. So I feel like there's been a great response from fans, and I'm really enjoying it. So not every show has a special guest, but more of them are having special guests right now than before.
That's cool. I must admit, listening to you, I think we had, I don't know if it was you or somebody else, we had a great conversation about, I thought country music was country music, and that was it. I never realised how country music breaks off into so many different, not genres, but there's all these different sort of places. You've got Americana, you've got rock country, you've got pop country, and I was astounded by it.
Rockabilly, Western swing, cowboy songs, like honky tonk, straight up like hard twang. It's just red cup, big truck, hip hop. Like there's a whole bunch of there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of different places little avenues to dig on into.
Which is awesome, because it gives everybody that chance. You don't have to be this, mainstream country where, you have to sound like this. You can have a different, a different feel for it, which I think, especially from your show, I've really learned some. I mean, I may not like it all, but we get to hear the different sounds, and I didn't realise these different sounds were around.
Right.
Very sheltered in the UK.
Oh, I'm helping right now.
You have to say though, COVID may have been an absolute horrendous time for a lot of people, but it really has brought everybody together in different ways. Especially, the internet's been amazing for bringing artists and fans together, and being able to see people a lot more. So.
Well, and normalizing being able to connect like this, like for a while, in the last year or two, like 18 months, right? I would see my friends who lived in my same town online in the same way that I would see my friends that live in Canada or Spain or a million other places. And so, I now have like a couple of weekly dates with friends who live in other countries, and I feel like I'm able to like further and deepen those relationships in a way that otherwise wouldn't have happened unless I had moved there, which is a whole other world of complication to do. And so it's, it is one of the things that I'm really hoping as the world opens back up, that we don't lose this ability to connect to each other. I mean, heck, I was taking online dance classes with some studios that were on Broadway in New York, because they were open to the public. You just had to stream into them. And I don't want to lose that access, right? Like, that's a wonderful way to be able to support small local businesses and art without having to buy a $1,000 plane ticket. So
I think, from a country music fan, we've been able to get closer to the artists where, you see them on stage, they do their thing, they disappear. You always have that gap.
Right.
Whether they're huge stars or, somebody just starting out. You've always got that gap where now, apart from obviously us doing Crazy Women Country, I think any fan has been able to get that little bit closer. You've been able to ask those questions. People are recognising you, you're recognising them. I think it's definitely brought the whole world a lot closer. It's a lot smaller now, I think.
I agree. I love that about it.
It's fantastic, and it's been so good to get to know these people and the music, and and I said every night you can go to 3 or 4 different shows, and it's just like, this is awesome.
It's true. I've definitely discovered bands that I might not have like gone out to discover because I would have been tired or commuting or traffic or whatever, and instead I was like, I'm just gonna attend the show, and I'll like throw a donation in there, I'll throw money in the tip bucket and just enjoy the show. And if it ends up not being my cup of tea, which that happens so rarely, but if it does, I've still supported the artists, and then, gone on to whatever the next piece of art I'm going to, consume that night is. And it's good.
it's been amazing, absolutely amazing. And as I said, you know, I've met amazing artists like yourself that I may never have been drawn to myself, because you're used to, you know, you get used to what you hear. That sounds awful. You know, you get comfortable with the music, so like Reba, Martina, you get used to all these and you forget that there's, you know, people coming through, and, you know, as you said, there's different types of country music that I never knew about. And it's amazing to get involved in them and listen to artists like yourself and, you know, everybody else. It's been so much fun. So much fun. And I'm so glad I got to meet you and also your music, because it's been amazing.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. Oh, and I have to say, the pictures from your wedding, they were gorgeous. What the best way to get married, I think.
Thank you. Yeah, it was pretty nice. A friend of mine did the photography as a wedding gift, and so some of the photos are still pending, but the first round we were like, oh. So thank you.
It seems so relaxed, though, I think, because obviously you're so close to people there. It was relaxed. It was, you know, it was easy going. I swear, and if I ever got married again, I'm doing it in the garden. Me and the dogs.
Yeah, our dog was actually our ring bearer, so, you know, 100%. I agree.
See, dogs are the best. I make the best guests. That's awesome. A dog is a ring bearer. That's so cool.
We got him a little pouch that went around his collar, so you know.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. Okay, now you're all comfortable. I'm going to ask you these crazy questions.
Uh-oh. Okay, what do you got? Bring it on.
Relax now. Okay, so these are some of the newer ones. They're a bit crazier, so they're good fun. They're good fun. Okay, what sitcom family would you be a member of? Or TV family or something like that?
I'm going to say The Simpsons.
Oh, that's awesome. The Simpsons. I love The Simpsons. Okay, so what's the weirdest thing or craziest thing or sweetest thing a fan has ever done for you?
Okay, there's two. So one was I was playing this show up in Canada with Carolyn Mark, and we were opening for her. It was really great. And the bartender comes up and slides a piece of paper underneath like the mic stand. So in the next song, I like lean over and grab it. And it says, "Someone at the bar wants to buy you a drink. Just say from the microphone what you want." And then they'll bring it over, which was super sweet. I still don't know who did it, but then we kept the sign and tried to use it at other bars for the rest of the tour. We were like, "Hey, I just got this on stage." And then, you know, if I'm too honest, I'd be like, "Okay, no, true story. We got this at the last bar, but if anybody wants to like live into the challenge, we would love a drink." That was pretty funny. And then the other one was actually much more, was kind of more serious. I was doing a solo show with the band Yours Truly, Michelle, the singer of whom is my drummer in Secret Emchy Society. And we were doing a show at an art gallery up near Mendocino, which is like pretty far on the Northern California coast. And it was a small show. And it was like the end of our tour. We were both exhausted. Like we hadn't really slept much. We'd been on the road for 12 hours before we got the show. Just like one of those where you're like, okay, I got to like motivate and get it up to do the show. But man, am I tired. And so I did a set, and it was during the era of my first album, The Stars Fall Shooting into Twangsville. And a lot of those songs were written when I lost a number of very close family members in about a 2-year period. So there's songs about like following your dreams and like valuing what's important, but also like loss and, you know, how like that can really impact your heart and like what roads you're choosing in life, because you kind of realize what's more important. So I'm doing the set, like I introduced the songs with what they're about, you know, to some degree, just to set the stage for it or whatever. I was tired when I was done, but I would like really gave it my all. And then at the end of the set, you know, you're doing the like shaking hands, kissing babies part where you're selling merchandise and whatever. And this woman comes up and she's like, "Can I talk to you for a second?" And I was like, "Of course, that's why I'm here. What's going on?" And she shared with me that she had just lost her mother and she was feeling really alone and actually had been feeling suicidal. And her friend had like dragged her out to this event that she didn't even want to go to. And that one of the songs I sang, like she identified with it so much that she was like, it made her feel less alone. And she like started crying and she was talking to me and just really telling me that her hearing that song that night actually felt like it was giving her like the boost she needed to kind of like re-enter into her own life and like stop grieving and move forward. And then she offered to play tuba for me whenever I was in town, and I was like, "You got it." So
wow, that's
it was a pretty magical moment, though. Like I felt like, you know, even when you as a musician are kind of tapped out and on your like last reserves of any kind of stage mojo or magic that you have, like as long as you're still putting it out there as much as you can, you never know when it's going to be that show that actually really matters to somebody and like really makes a difference. And that's part of why we all do this, right? Because we want to connect with people that way. And it was just really powerful for me. Like that was like 7 years ago, and I can like, that show is like burned into my brain as like one of my favorite shows I've ever done because of her. So
yeah, that's awesome. I think that's the ultimate thing, isn't it? Having someone who really resonates with the song and really feels everything you're singing. That's the perfect achievement. You know, you can win you can win awards, you can win all sorts, but it doesn't mean anything unless you've got fans who say something like that. I mean, that's just you know,
it's true.
The ultimate goal. So yeah, perfect. I love that. Okay, if you could add someone to Mount Rushmore, who would it be and why?
Oh man, that one's not even fair. That's so hard. First of all, I wouldn't want to carve into the sacred mountains of the Dakota Hills, so I'm just going to say that. Like,
okay,
that's not mine to do.
Put a big poster up.
But so if I had to, if like there was, I could blast one of those guys off and put a new one on there. Hold on, I'm gonna have it. It would be Audre Lorde.
Ah, there you go.
The queer African-American revolutionary poet that is the most amazing in the whole world and one of my absolute favorites. I'd put Audre Lorde up there because I feel like she would inspire the world, but also be a very wonderful guardian of that sacred area.
That'd be cool. We can just take them
more appropriate to actually take the put Crazy Horse on there, since they're making the tribe is making a actual monument to him, like, you know, just across the road practically. So I would, you know, that would be more appropriate, but like just the first thing that came into my head was Audre Lorde.
Yeah, that's perfect. We could just put her up and take away the men. Just get rid of the men altogether. You know, make it a real inspiration for everybody. That'd be cool. That's coming from an English person. They're probably going to cut the cable now. That's it. Take her off the air. Okay. What is the best thing since sliced bread?
Rhubarb pie.
That was very quick. Some people really have to think about it. Rhubarb pie. Awesome.
Rhubarb pie. No strawberries. Just rhubarb.
Just rhubarb. Rhubarb's nice, but it has to have custard. And it can't be sour. Rhubarb.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to do a little bit of like the egg and sugar thing to make sure that there's the custardy inside, because that's the jam for rhubarb pie. But
yeah, well, I'm British. We have custard on everything.
Well, okay, so my rhubarb pie recipe comes from my grandmother, who, you know, 4 steps removed from England. So
well, there you go. I'm coming to your house.
I mean, we made Cornish pasties growing up, so like I'm assuming that a lot of our recipes are from those people.
Cornish pasties are the best.
Yeah, I make really good pasties, actually.
I'm coming to your house.
Pasties.
Next time I'm in California,
I can make vegan ones. Like I've landed on the formula for pasties for sure.
That's it. Next time I'm in California, I'm coming for dinner.
You got it. I'll make Cornish pasties.
That's perfect. Okay. What's your favorite snack?
Oh, that's hard. Well, it's not super hard. It's like 3 things popped into my head immediately. My favorite snack of right now is salted cucumber slices and fresh tomatoes.
I love tomatoes. I can eat tomatoes just, as a...
I do. Like, we have a garden that's got mainly tomatoes in it, and that's it.
Oh, wow.
And tomatoes all day long. I love tomatoes.
They're the best. And tomatoes out here are just amazing. It must be the way they grow them out here. They don't taste as good in England as they do here. Or when I had them in Portugal, they were just to die for. And my old staffy, rest in peace. You know the little cherry tomatoes? Mm-hmm. She would eat them whole. But you had to watch out because she just bit. So of course sometimes it was like you could be,
Right.
She loved them.
That's great.
Her mother's daughter, that's for sure. Okay, now this is the fun question. This is the one that we've had some of the most random answers ever.
All right.
Okay, hypothetically, if I need to hide a body, do you know a good place?
Well, I mean, if you have a bathtub and some lye, you don't need to hide anything.
Oh, there you go. See? The number of people who have they already know their answer. Yep, there's a pig farm down the road. It's great. I love it. I love that question. That question's great. Perfect. I love this. So, what have you got planned for the rest of the year? Obviously, we've got the album still going.
Yeah.
Any tour dates? Any?
Yeah, actually, I did. Yeah, I got some stuff planned. We've got I've already done one show live and in person, which was awesome. It was a Waylon Jennings tribute show, and it was me and a bunch of other California country folks, and sold it out. It was like this big outdoor, space that had been turned into. It was like a parking lot that had been turned into a concert venue, and played that with like Laura Benitez and a bunch of other California country people. They were so great, and we sold it out, and I was like, woo! And I was also like, wow, a lot of people were buying me drinks. I also got to remember how to slow that jam down because I haven't been out at, bar type places in a while for people to celebratory, like, yay, buy drinks. Anyway, so that was super fun. So on August 28th, the band is doing a show at the Ivy Room in California, which is going to be super fun. And then I'm going up to Le Canada, and I'm going to play a music festival and a bunch of shows with Carolyn Mark, because she is my sister from another mister. Actually, she drew that painting for me about my song Bears. So Carolyn Mark original there.
That's a great band. That's a great song as well.
Okay, where's my hand? So, and then when I get back, I might have a couple of dates in New York, and then I'll have a couple more. Like there's another California show in September, and there's some California shows in September and October. Mm-hmm. Might be playing in New York a bit. I'm still working that out because I'm traveling out there anyway, so I'm trying to set up dates. And then I've got a big like Halloween weekend show up in this town called Doyle in California at a bar called the Buck Inn. And that town just got decimated by a fire over the weekend because our wildfire season has started. And so kind of waiting to see what happens there. But I know the bar is still standing and the hotel is still standing. And it's usually this big annual, like kind of anniversary of the bar / Halloween event. Yeah. Where, and I'm going to talk to the owner and see if we can turn it into a bit of a benefit for the town. To help the people that lost their homes, him included, that, I saw some pictures that really hurt my heart about that. But see if we can make it into a bit of a fundraiser to help people that need relocation costs and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's like the September tour, like the August show, the September tour, and then that thing up in Buck Inn up at Doyle, California. Those are like the big things coming. Mm-hmm. And then I'm booking for November and beyond, aside from that.
Sorted. That would be awesome.
It's a lot. I forgot how hard it is to book shows. Being your own booking agent is hilarious.
It's got to be tough. It has to be tough, I must admit. Yeah. But it's quite scary when you say it's wildfire season. Yeah. Like, that's just, you know how terrible it is. I mean, they have the wildfires over here. We had one. Actually, it was just the town just down from us, which was quite scary. We've never had one that close. So, you start thinking, and of course these hot countries, and especially this year, everything's gone a bit mad with the temperature. I mean, Canada's had temperatures that are so high that it's, people have been dying from it, and global warming's not doing very good at the moment.
No, and it's just California and the entire West Coast has been in a drought this year, and so that plus these high temperatures that are just so far above and beyond, and there have been a lot of lightning storms. So the fire that happened up in Doyle, like previous years, we could blame the bad power lines from the power company, or just idiots being arsonists or messing around with fireworks, or other irresponsible human-related reasons, and then just the environmental situation made it so that it couldn't be controlled. A lot of these fires are caused by lightning storms.
Yeah,
and that's and that's in areas of the country where we don't normally have those. Yeah. So it's the changing weather patterns are definitely a trouble.
Yeah, I mean we have a lot of lightning storms here. I mean, we have rain, but sometimes the rain is so heavy that it's pointless. You know what I mean? It comes down too hard. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't help anything.
Right.
So it kind of just floods everywhere, and then it causes more damage than anything else. So it's right. Anyway, we need to finish this on the high note.
Okay.
We can't finish on the low note. We can't finish.
I know we were so good, and then we're like, oh, the world.
I know, and then it's like. But this has been fun. We all love Cindy because Cindy's amazing, isn't she?
Oh, I mean, I always love talking to you. It's just the most wonderful thing. So, I mean, thank you as always for having me, because I do love chatting, and we always end up going down some so unusual and strange roads that are just great. So thank you again.
It's all good. It's all good. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me. This has been so much fun. And everybody, make sure you follow Cindy because she's amazing. Her music is fantastic, and keep an eye out for that new album because it's going to be awesome as well. So thank you very much for joining me again. See you later, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.